Portfolios. One of the most important assets a lot of people need to get recognized, including resumes, essays, job applications, and so on. But some of you may ask, what is a portfolio? It's basically your work of all the things you made or worked on. It's sort of like your skill points, achievements, most self-taught or trained. But how do you make a portfolio? The simple answer would be that you probably already have one, but haven't actually made one. When I first started making my portfolio, I was too afraid to show off my old art or OCs because thieves. I mostly use fan art when I post online nowadays because this is a big project I'm making. The only time I will show my own pitch project is if I'm showcasing it in public. So if we end up meeting each other in person, that would be a maybe. Now the first main thing is, what should you add to your portfolio? I would focus on adding projects or things that you made and put it in your files to keep them organized. So the moment you do have an interview, you'll be ready to showcase your work. Adding incomplete work is okay, as it shows that you're progressing. Don't feel embarrassed if your work isn't enough. Heck, when I showcased my art for a project I was working on my assignment, he was so impressed that I could draw. Nah, he was impressed all of us can draw this good. So the simple answer is yes. Don't be afraid to showcase unfinished work. If you feel comfortable presenting it in your portfolio, I promise you I can relate to that because there are a lot of stuff I made and I just don't feel comfortable showing off. But that just means we're developing. But the one main thing that isn't tolerated when presenting yourself with your portfolio is trace art, stealing art from other artists and pretending it's yours, and freaking AI. Before AI, most of us have done tracing as a child because we wanted to draw our favorite characters or our own OCs. A temporary self-taught thing on how to draw. But the moment we get older, people will get out of that phase and know how to draw characters and autonomy on their own. But not a lot of people are like that and would get attached and not even try. Which is a bad way to present your portfolio, as this will ruin your reputation. My advice is at least try to be dependent when you make your own portfolio. Even if you can't draw, try stickmans when posing. I use this method for posing sometimes, and it helps a lot when I'm drawing, and I don't feel pose blocked. If you steal art, you need to go to jail. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all. This is another thing kids would do because they like the art so much and would just recolor the avatar to make it look like theirs. I was a kid, fam. I didn't know any better. And I'm including this because this happened months ago when a new student was applying to our school. I wasn't there to see it, but when they mentioned this kid and what he tried to pull off, it was not only dumb coming from his side, but it was also hilarious. I'm going to call my advisor Blade Run because he loves Blade Runner and Cyberpunk, and the dude that used stolen art, Pistachio. So the portfolio Pistachio was showcasing to Blade Run. There was some not safe for work art and stolen art in his portfolio.
How did Blade Run find out some of the other art he made wasn't stolen?
I don't know, it's either because our classmates recognized where the original art came from. Like I said, I wasn't there, and the whole class was talking about it the whole day. So it's safe to say that that dude got rejected. And for the best, because who the hell wants to deal with a student that steals art online and can do the same thing but in person? And this school doesn't tolerate thievery, alright? So if folks attempt to try to do that crap, they're getting booted. But what makes it hilarious to us, and worse for him, is that his mom was there. I feel really bad for the mom. Like, I don't even think she knows most of the stuff her son stole online wasn't his. She's probably more disappointed in him than being disappointed with the school. My advice is don't steal other artists' work and just be original with your own art skills. Yeah, there's a lot of talented artists, but don't beat yourself up and turn to the dark side. If you do, I promise you, it will be like prison and you'll never get accepted into any work or will get ridiculed for not even trying. I know they got this, but this type of behavior needs to phase out. AI. I don't need to elaborate. AI. Now that you know how to make a portfolio, now what? Well, there's still more things to add. You don't have to do it daily, but you also don't want to leave it in the dust either. If you have a full ton of stuff that you made in the past and recent, then you're basically good, but that doesn't mean you don't have to update it. There's stuff I want to showcase, but like I said earlier, it's a passion project. I'm keeping it to myself because of thieves. I think people can agree what it's like, but don't feel ashamed adding it to your portfolio because at some point people are gonna love the work you do. As long as you don't do any of the 3 things that will give people a bad reputation. Be yourself, because that's what makes your portfolio unique. Heck, you'll never know when you're pitched to work on a project someday. Yeah, there's gonna be criticism here and there, but that's progress. To get better at the things we didn't know what we could actually achieve.